Hey folks, in this video we'll be talking about the Dungeonator and the Kickstarter for Dungeonator 2.0. The Dungeonator is a deck of cards designed by RollinKunz, and it's a tool for you to use, a resource for building dungeons as a dungeon master. It's really neat because what it allows you to do is to create completely unique, randomized dungeons as part of your preparation.
The deck contains 52 cards. Now, not all of these are the core dungeon cards. There are a couple cards that contain the instructions. There are a few cards that are entrances on one side and stairs on the other, as well as some treasure rooms.
All of the cards are double-sided. One side of the card will have the dungeon room with at least one entrance and exit, and then the other side of the card is that same room, but it's a dead end. So it's a really versatile deck, and it gives you a lot of options.
I like that the cards are good quality. They feel like they're going to hold up fairly well over time, and the way that they're kind of set up, there is an arrow that shows you this is the entrance side of the room, so I think that helps in the layout portion of it. Now, when you are putting the cards out, there are a couple times where you might run into oh, this card doesn't really work on this particular spot, and that's where I do like that the opposite side is a dead end, so you could always decide to dead end a route, especially because there are a few cards in here that have multiple ways you can go off of the card. It's not just one entrance, one exit.
Then there's also these two really cool cards that give you sort of suggestions of what it is that might happen in that room. There's a strange sound, or something can be seen lurking in the shadows. It's sort of like a little story hook. So it's not just the map, but it's also some of the encounters that your players might have. You build the dungeon by starting with the entrance, the entryway, or the stairs that lead into this section, and then one at a time you lay the cards down, lining up the different hallways and passages. Now, there were a couple of times I was building it that there wasn't really a great place for the card that I had drawn to go. That's okay. You can flip it over and turn it into a dead end, or you can just tuck it back into the deck and shuffle it in and use it later. There was even one time where I ended up with a 3-room dungeon. Not a big deal. I like that you can use this to build your entire sprawling dungeon crawl dungeon, or you can use it to give you an idea of what you want it to be, and then flesh things out later and make small changes as needed.
They're much too small really to put any miniatures on, but I could see if you're a type of table that you play a little bit more theater of the mind, or you could even have little eraser nubs set down to indicate where things are. You could use this as the map. Otherwise, you could just throw the cards out to show the party how they're progressing through the dungeon and give them an idea of what it looks like.
You could either copy that dungeon down onto some grid paper, you can have key rooms put onto a larger battle mat, like a dry erase battle mat that you've got, or you could even take that and then build it in a virtual tabletop or a virtual dungeon builder. Again, the versatility is a part of what I think makes it such a great tool set. And the fact that the deck is less than 20 bucks, it's a really good value as well.
Each of the designs is different. It does give you so many options for what the dungeon's going to look like, and it is every single time you create a dungeon with these cards, it's going to be different. The drawings are pretty detailed, and there's some interesting terrain elements of it. Places that I could see very easy to have some monsters hiding behind this little alcove, or multi-level even. A lot of different things that can help spark those ideas for what is going to happen in this room of the dungeon.
There's a Kickstarter for Series 2 of Dungeonator that's out, and I think it's absolutely worth taking a look at. There's more of that really great artwork. There's even a stretch goal that's been unlocked that's a goblin generator, and if it's anywhere near as good as the dungeon generator, I think that that's going to be awesome.
Now, this is probably more so a tool for figuring out the dungeon layout. So if you're a game master that you love playing dungeons, but you struggle with sometimes coming up with different layouts that they don't all look the same, this deck is going to be very useful for you.
If you're somebody that's running games regularly for your friends, or maybe you run games at a game store every week, especially a dungeon crawl, I think this is a great tool for you to have. It allows you to come up with your dungeons. They're going to be unique, and it's something that you can use as a part of your preparation, and it saves you time and energy, so the rest of your planning can really get a lot of good attention. Plus, it's just fun to use. I found as I was playing the cards down, I was coming up with a story of what this ruinous cavern was supposed to be and why it was there and what types of creatures and traps and monsters my players were going to face. I would definitely think about picking it up. It's a really cool deck, and the Kickstarter for Series 2 is out. Maybe look at backing that. There's a bunch of stretch goals, and again, I think it's a really good value and a really nice thing to have. I'm glad that it's a part of our toolbox for running games.
And if you're interested in winning one of these decks, we are going to give away 1 physical and 2 digital copies of these decks. Follow the link in our description below to enter for your chance to win.
US and Canada only for the physical copy, but for the digital one, I think you should be fine anywhere in the world. So what do you think about Dungeonator? Have you used it in the past? Does it look like something that you wish you had in your collection? Are you rushing off to the Kickstarter to check out Series 2? Let's talk about what you like about this in the comments below, as well as following the instructions to win in the giveaway.
A big thanks to all of our patrons, and especially to Alicia. If you want to help support our channel, head on over to patreon.com/rollforinitiative and check out the perks of being a patron.